Okay, this is Ringwalk Media. We're over in Liverpool at the Neilson Boxing Show, sponsored by Power of One, and we've managed to steal away the main man, Mark. How are you, mate?
Oh, absolutely over the moon. What a main event. Yeah. We had like 800 people in this venue. It's first time in Liverpool, and we've smashed it. We filled this arena up, and that main event, Jack sold a few hundred tickets on his own. What a fight. What a card as well. So first time in Liverpool, we'll definitely be back.
Yeah, it was a superb card. Starting off with a couple of good fights, and Leon Wheeling's there. He's coming back from a loss. He put on a superb performance, didn't he?
Yeah, there was some class on the card. Because we only had a small five-fight card, we need to make sure every fight delivered. So we didn't want any of these just a couple of prospects fighting some journeymen. We wanted guys who were going to put on a good performance on every fight. So even they were fighting some guys with losing records. The guys were coming to win. We knew what they were about. They were durable, and some cracking boxers on the undercard. I thought, great night.
Yeah, it was a fabulous night. The crowd were enjoying themselves, and then the main event. Obviously, Jack victorious, 4 knockdowns, but he had to work for it, didn't he?
Oh, he did. Isn't he entertaining? He said himself earlier on, he's made for TV. He could have. I think his Martin Murray, his trainer, was saying, just take it steady to start with, keep him at range, and then put it on him later on. But he's got sucked into a wall. Now with Venus, his opponent, he's had 30, 40 fights. He's only been down once or twice. He's only been stopped once out of all of those. He's a really durable guy. And it's no exaggeration to say that we tried over 20 odd opponents who turned him down, because he's no amateur experience, but he's a really good MMA background. And that was only his 7th fight, but people were hearing about him already. We're fast tracking him along. And his next fight we're looking at in November is Carson Jones. He stopped 31 out of 41. That's a massive fight. So their team are confident. They can sort of smooth off some of these rough edges. But he's entertaining, isn't he? As I said, Venus hadn't really get put down a lot, but down in the second. His gum shield was out a few times. You could tell he was distressed, but that shows the power that Jack's got. So I think he can go all the way.
Yeah, he can, and he was very, very sensible in there as well, because, like you say, the gum shield came out about 7 times, I think. It must have been frustrating, but he kept his cool, kept the game plan, could hear his coach in the corner, just, helping him along. He showed a lot of maturity in that fight, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he did. Not enough for me, to be honest with you. Because Venus is a tough guy, and he'd come back into it, But Jack was at his best when he was at his front foot, because he's got the power, he's got the strength, doesn't he? And when he dominates that, it just controls the fight. So there was times that Venus was trying to get back to it, and a bit of Jack's power just put him back in his place, didn't it? I mean, it was a stoppage was because of a hand injury, but I think the writing was on the wall, wasn't it? I think it was nearly going to happen. He was obviously under a lot of distress, and it was just a matter of time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant. So you talked about the crowd tonight. They were fabulous, weren't they, out there?
Oh, what an atmosphere. I mean, I've done a hell of a lot of shows. That's probably the best atmosphere I've ever experienced. It felt like all of them were sat in one row behind you, and there's like hundreds and hundreds of them. I think the whole place was supporting Jack McGann tonight, weren't they? It was just brilliant. Spine-tingling stuff. Loved it. It's probably one of the best shows I've put on.
Yeah, and talking of putting the show on, Power of One sponsorship tonight, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's a great charity. Samantha Hutchins obviously is a big believer in Jack. It helps his career that you've got a big sponsor like that behind him. They're doing some great work, and for Jack, it just helps. It takes the pressure off. It means he can concentrate on his training. He can train full time. So it's great for someone like him to have them behind him.
Well, listen, we've fully enjoyed this evening. I think everybody else out there has enjoyed it as well. A great card, some great results, some great fights, and just a good evening. So thanks for having us. We appreciate it, and good luck with the next one.
Yeah, good speaking to you.
Thanks, Matt.